It's time for a tool video. Let's get to it. Alright, from Dewalt, we got a 7 or 9 inch right angle variable speed polisher. This one has the soft start. It's going to be model DWP849X. And I just saw where it was made. Alright, tool made in India. And the accessories that it comes with were made in China. And I think over here we got a list. Yeah. So it includes not only the right angle polisher, but we get a bail handle, straight handle, and hook and loop backing pads. Our specs on this: 12 amps, variable speed 0 to 600 or 0 to 3500. The threads on the spindle 5/8 11. The spindle locks, and the tool weight is 6.6 pounds. Let's see, we got some more stuff over here. 12 amp ball bearing construction. Soft start electronic controls, variable speed dial. Alright, so let's get this thing open. Check it out. Alright, there it is out of the box. We got some instructions. Nobody got time for that. We got a backing pad. This is 7 inches. Hook and loop on the back. We got our handles over here, and then we got our main unit. Now the reason I got this polisher is in case I want to do any paint correction on the Accord project. The car's already painted, it's all finished, looks good. It could use a tiny bit of paint correction, and I'm not sure if I want to do it or not. I know what the car looks like. You guys don't yet. If you don't know anything about the Accord project, I'll leave some links in the description. But that's why I got it. It was a perfect excuse after I painted the car to go grab a polisher in case I wanted to do any correction on it. So I'm not going to put it together right now. If I do any work on the paint, I'll go ahead and put this together, and we'll show it in a video. So let's see what else we got. Alright, up next from GearWrench, we got some stubby combination wrenches. This is going to be a 20-piece SAE and metric stubby combination wrench set, model 81903. I do have some wrench organizers to go with it. We'll look at those in a second. And let's see, where is this thing made? Manufactured in China. And hopefully you can see what we get. Looks like we get 3/8 all the way up to 15/16. I'm not going to rattle all those off. Hopefully you can kind of see what the sizes you get there. And then it looks like we get 10 through 19 millimeter on the metric side, and they don't skip any sizes there. Off the top of my head, it doesn't look like we're skipping any sizes on the SAE, but I don't know, my fractions isn't that great off the top of my head. Alright, for the open end side, we get the Surface Drive Plus. It's got little serrations there to help us prevent rounding on the fasteners. Looks like it's stamped on both sides, and the box end is offset just like pretty much every other combination wrench out there. So let's check it out. Okay, there it is out of the packing. Comes in this thick little case. Definitely a little beefy, a little bit bigger than I would like. The wrenches stay in there though, so I suppose if you wanted to, you could keep them in there. I plan on putting them in here. Of course, you know, you got 10 different sizes, so we got 10 metric, 10 SAE. Finish and fit looks pretty good upon initial inspection. And it looks like all the correct sizes are in here. We didn't double up on anything. I do have some Tecton here and some cheapos from Harbor Freight. We can do some comparisons. Like I said, I do plan on putting them in these Ernst little wrench organizers right here. They're kind of a flexible rubber. Both made in USA. This is going to be 5075 and this one's 5074. Both of these hold 10, and that's how many wrenches we have. Now let's see, the smallest one on this side is a 10 millimeter, so as long as that'll fit, I know the rest of them will. Same thing with this 3/8 inch. Yep, it fits, so we're good. So that's how I plan on putting these. I'll put them in there, and then I can just grab the whole set if I need them, or I could just leave them in my toolbox like that, and it should save a lot of space. If we compare them over here to Tecton, I don't know, I'll grab a 15 millimeter, and where's our 15 over here? So there's kind of a size comparison. You can see the Tecton is definitely a little bit longer. What I noticed right off the bat is the head seems to be a little bit bigger. This one is definitely more compact, and in my opinion, you want the more compact one to get in there. Sometimes when the head is too big, you can't get that wrench in there where you need it. Same thing with this side. I can see that the box end is pretty thick on this, where it's much thinner over here. So that's just kind of what I noticed right off the bat comparing it to Tecton. And of course, I should have mentioned the Tecton and the Harbor Freight. These jaws are straight, so there's no little serrations here, or whatever you want to call it, surface drive, or I can't remember. Is that what does GearWrench call it? Oh, GearWrench calls it Surface Drive Plus, and then Snap-on has their own version of it, and a lot of companies do. But these two particular wrenches don't have that, and it's definitely a nice feature to have. If we come over here and grab, let's see, the 5/8 out of this set, we can compare them to the Harbor Freight. You can see the Harbor Freight, the box end is a little bit closer to the size of the gear wrench, but just like Tecton, a little bit longer, and that can be detrimental. When you want a stubby, you want it definitely to be shorter, and the head is a little more compact. This one is not as beefy as, say, the Tecton, but all in all, I think these gear wrenches, they definitely manufacture these to be a little more compact, because that's when you're going to need them. You're definitely going to need them in tight spaces, especially if you're working on vehicles and stuff like that. So let's see what else we got. Alright, up next from Vice Grip, we got a 10-pack of, well, Vice Grips, or aka locking pliers. I wish I could say that these were all made in USA, but they're no longer made in USA. These are made in China. I believe that the part number is 1078 tray, but I could be wrong on that. In any event, let's get it open. Okay, there's our set out of the box. Comes in this plastic little tray. It's a little bit flimsy, so I won't be using it, and it takes up a lot of room, but I suppose you could put that in your toolbox if you wanted to. I've never had an issue using made in China vice grips. Of course, I wish they were still made in the USA, but they're not. But for the most part, you know, the fit and finish have been just fine from the ones I've used before. You can see there's our 10R right there. So, I mean, you get a nice selection in here. Just about every, you know, locking pliers you would ever need probably is in this set right here. The reason I got this set, I have this set from Milwaukee, and it has this type of tightening knob right here where you can really crank it down. But I wanted one, you know, more of a standard style where it was a little bit smaller, because sometimes this is too big and bulky and kind of gets in the way. So I figured that's a perfect excuse to just buy another set. So that's why I got this set. I did notice that it does have a provision to help tighten it down by putting, you know, a hex or Allen in there. If we compare it to, here's a made in USA 9LN compared to the made in China 9LN, they look, you know, pretty close. I can see that the finish on here is a little bit shinier, like it was polished a little more compared to this one. The old school made in USA does not have a provision for a hex or any way to tighten it rather than just using your hand or another tool to grab onto it. An easy way to tell made in USA and made in China ones, the made in USA has the pin right there, where the made in China has a rivet. That's an easy, quick way to figure it out. Also, I did notice just looking at these, you know, the fit and finish on the jaws right here on the needle nose, these are a little bulkier. You know, these seem to be a little bit more refined. That's just, you know, quick inspection. I definitely noticed a little bit more bulk right here, whereas it seemed like when they manufactured these, they definitely tapered them a little more, made them a little less bulky. When I feel these, the teeth and the serrations right there, they're very sharp. I mean, they kind of grab my finger. Whereas these, not, I mean, they are pronounced, I can see them, but they definitely don't grab my finger like the other ones do. Now, whether that's going to matter when you're, you know, grabbing a bolt or nut and trying to tighten it, maybe not. As far as, you know, lining up, seem to line up pretty decent. A little bit off right there. Made in USA ones, those seem to pretty much line up perfect. So, you know, if I have to give an edge, I'm going to give an edge to the made in USA ones. It seems like they were made to a little bit tighter tolerances, but like I said, I have not had an issue using the made in China version of vice grips, and so we'll continue using them. Alright, up next from GearWrench, we got a 5-piece reversible S ratcheting double boxed end wrench set. Yeah, say that 3 times fast, huh? This is going to be model 85299 and manufactured in Taiwan. And of course, they have the S shape for, you know, if you got to loosen something and go around obstacles. Now this set is metric, of course, and it comes without skipping a size. It goes from 10 to 17 millimeter, and then the large wrench right here has 19 and 22 millimeter. They are reversible, so every end has the little reversing lever right there, so in case you get into a jam, you can reverse it and back yourself out of it. They have a 5-degree ratchet, so you only need 5 degrees to get to that next tooth. And this design, of course, allows you to go around corners, so to speak. So let's get it open, check them out. Alright, there it is out of the wrapping. It does come in this little plastic tray, but I'm not sure that you'd really want to use it. I don't think it's made to actually put in your toolbox like this. I think they just show it off like that, because that takes up a lot of room. I typically don't use the little plastic trays like this just for that reason. They just take up way too much room. And you can see this one's already beat up from shipping and stuff. But I've been happy with the gear wrenches that I've used in the past. Have no issue with them. You can see that the lever is actually on both sides, so you can reach it on both sides, on both ends, which is kind of nice. Ratcheting mechanism feels good, and at least that wrench looks good. Stamped on each side, on both sides, so you know what you're using. But nice little, set of wrenches for when you have that fastener just in a crappy position where you got to get it. It's always nice to have something like this. Obviously, it's kind of a luxury to have stuff like this. Most of the time you can get away with just straight wrenches and some stubbies, but every once in a while it's definitely nice to have something like this. So let's see what else we got. Alright, up next from Mayhew, we got a 12-piece brass punch and scraper set. Looks like it's part number or model number 67012. Obviously made by Mayhew, made in the USA. So let's get it open, see what we got here. Alright, that's what it looks like out of the bag. Comes in this nice pouch. Feels pretty tough. Yeah, if we open it up, that's what we got. It does have the ability, if you want to hang it, you could. But there we go. We got a couple of brass scrapers. We got a couple of drift punches, and we got some pin punches. And like I said, these are all made of brass, all made in the USA. And so that's kind of nice. Every once in a while, you have to scrape, or punch stuff, and you don't want to mar it. And typically, obviously, if you don't want to mar it, you have to use something that's not quite as hard as whatever you're working on. That's usually when brass comes into play. And I'll just let you read it. There's the pin punch sizes. Hopefully you can read all those. Looks like 1/8 up to 3/8. Our drift punches, we got 1/4, 3/8, and 1/2. And then our scrapers, we got 1/2 inch and 3/8. So pretty decent variety. If you're going to be working on some more delicate stuff, this would definitely be a good set to have. And I do like that it's made in the USA, and it comes in this nice little pouch. You can keep everything together just like that. Put it in your tool drawer for when you need it. Or you can, take it on the go if you need to. Let's see what else we got. Alright, up next from Weller, we got a medium duty soldering station. This is going to be model number WLC100. Let's see where it's made. Made in Mexico. Let's look at some of the things it can do. Variable power control, produces 5 to 40 watts. We got an on-off switch with power on indicator light. Cushion foam grip, and natural sponge tip cleaning pad, and safety guard iron holder. And this one, you can replace the tip, so there's all the little different tip sizes we can get. Let's get it out of the packaging. Alright, there it is out of the packaging. We got some instructions. Ain't nobody got time for that. Oh, let's see. I think this goes there, and that goes there, and I believe this plugs in here, and then we plug it in. Then we can dial it in how we want. I really like this little foam grip right there. That would make it kind of nice. Yeah, this looks like a good little thing. This is probably going to be better than my 1970s Radio Shack one that I've been using for 100 years. So we'll put it to use. All right, let's see what else we got. Okay, from GearWrench, we got the 3-piece double hose plier set. And model 82107. Where is this made? I just saw it. Where is it? Oh, made in China. Looks like we get 3 sets of pliers. 5/16 inch. That's going to be this diameter right here. 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch. These have this double joint right here so we can get into tighter areas. And obviously they're made for gripping onto the end of hoses to pull them up. So let's get it open. Okay, that's what our set looks like out of the box. Yeah, fit and finish looks pretty nice. They line up pretty nicely. Looks like the serrations in there will grab pretty good. Got some oil on them to protect them. They feel smooth. They're nice and easy to use. I like it because you can definitely squeeze into tighter areas with this extra joint like that. I got another set here. So you can see that, you know, if the joint is in about the same place, we definitely can't make it as long. And if we lengthen this, then you really have to open it up wider, and it can create a problem as far as getting into areas. So the extra little joint there definitely helps out get into tight spots. You know, obviously most of the stuff I'm doing on my channel, we're working on cars, and the cars nowadays, everything is tight, everything's packed in there. So the more space you can save, whether it's on stuff like this or the little stubby wrenches with the, you know, the box end, anytime you can save space, it definitely seems to help in the end. So I think these will not be an exception, and they'll definitely be a good addition to something like this. Some of you who watch all my videos know that I made a tool video on locking pliers and how you couldn't find any locking pliers that were made in the USA unless you were buying new old stock, you know, vice grips from years ago that used to be made in the USA. Well, I'm proud to say that that is no longer the case. A company called Malco is now making locking pliers under the Eagle Grip brand name here in the USA. So let me get this open, we'll check them out. Okay, now that the box is open, we can check out our new shiny pair of locking pliers. Upon initial inspection, definitely feels like a quality tool. Those teeth feel sharp and those serrations look really good. And those jaws definitely line up nicely. I did notice that our locking knob right here has a provision for a hex, so that's definitely a nice positive. If we look at the box right here, it says Eagle Grip locking pliers are made in DeWitt, Nebraska. Now some of you may or may not know, but the original vice grips that were made in the USA, like this set, were made in DeWitt, Nebraska. So evidently what happened is Malco went ahead and bought that manufacturing plant where these used to be made, and they started making locking pliers again here in the US. So that's definitely nice that once again we have locking pliers made in DeWitt, Nebraska here in the USA. If we compare them to the made in China vice grips, they look similar, but you know, just the feel of them, the look and everything, you can definitely tell that this is a better tool. Now, only time will tell if that is really the case, but just upon initial inspection, you know, and looking at everything, you can see how those, see the jaws not quite lining up there. It's just, you know, little things like that, that, yeah, when you're, you know, clamping on a bolt, it's probably still going to work just fine. But it's just those little details like that, you know, where you can kind of tell whether that's a real good quality tool or just another tool that you throw around in the toolbox. I also wanted to mention that these made in USA Eagle grips also have that pin like the original made in USA vice grips, as opposed to the rivet that the made in China vice grips now currently have. Also, when I made that original locking plier video, Malco did reach out to me to let me know that they were going to be making these in the US again, but I wanted to hold off on saying anything until I actually had them in my hands. Okay, from Sunex, we got a 1/2 inch drive, SAE 43-piece master impact socket set. This is going to be model number 2568, and if we can see, read those tiny little letters, made in Taiwan. Set includes, looks like 3/8 all the way up to 1.5 inch on the impact sockets, and that includes standard and deep, so we get both standard and deep in all those sizes. We get a universal, and we get some extensions, and of course we get the case. So let's get it open, see what we got. Okay, there's the case out of the packing. Feels like a good little case. I've always liked Sunex cases. They seem to do a pretty good job for the most part on their cases, so I think you could carry them around in this case no problem. In fact, I think I'll leave these in the case just so I have them all together, because I really don't have any room to put them in my toolbox. So we got some clips on the side, and over here we can open it up, and there's all our sockets. You can see they're nicely oiled, but we got lots of deep and lots of shallow. It's a very good set of sockets, just about any size you would ever need on SAE. And for that matter, you know, if you're working on metric and maybe it's rusted or rounded off a little bit, that's where the SAE will definitely come in handy. Working on an old hot rod, and that made me realize, hey, I need some more impact sockets that are SAE, because I have everything in metric and I have Sunex, and I really like Sunex impact sockets, no issue with them. So I figured, hey, that's a perfect excuse. Let's go buy some SAE impact sockets from Sunex. And so that's what I did. And they are marked like that, and they're also stamped in there. I can see them right there. So it's stamped and marked on both sides. So that's good. And you get a few different size extensions. We get a little bit of a universal there. But all in all, I mean, these look well made, and like I said, I've been using Sunex impact sockets for quite a while, and I really like them. No issues with them. Now the hex portion on these looks like it goes down about halfway, about like that, so it doesn't go all the way down, but definitely goes down that far. And I have other sockets where they do that, and I've not had an issue. So this one goes down about that far right there. And the biggest one we got, 1.5 inches, it's about right there. So, and they got the corners rounded out right there, so helps grip the fasteners, and there's a little bit of a rounded edge right there on every one. And of course it's more pronounced on the larger ones than it is on the smaller ones, but that definitely helps grip the fastener and not damage the corners. But all in all, I've been happy with the Sunex impacts, and I have no reason to believe these will be any different. So let's keep moving. And here's my 3/8 inch metric impact socket set from Sunex that I use all the time. This is my go-to set. If I'm working on a Honda, this is most likely the set I'm using. Some time ago, in fact I made a post on it, I lost my 16mm socket. I'm not sure how, because I never use a 16mm socket. I mean, rarely. I can't even remember the last time I used it. But anyway, I mean, I looked near and far, high and low in the shop, and I couldn't find it. And then one day I'm looking around and whoa, I found it. Lo and behold, apparently Amazon was holding on to it for me, so now I got it back. Alright, up next from GearWrench, we got a 4-piece door panel clip release set. That's what it looks like right there, big long thing. Hopefully you can see it with the glare. Some of this packaging, the glare does not work well with my cameras. This is going to be model number 84060H, as in hotel. And where was it made? Made in Taiwan. So let's get it open. Okay, that's what it looks like without the clear plastic on there, so you can see it. But just your run-of-the-mill little clip removal tools by GearWrench. Comes with several different styles for different clips and whatnot. And there's those right there. And then this is the one I really bought it for. I needed a long one like this to be able to reach back in there and pop clips off. Not sure if I'll ever use this thing right here, but I know it does have applications. But I really bought it for this one, and so the rest are just a bonus. But I don't have any problem with GearWrench tools. As you can tell, a lot of my tool videos feature GearWrench, and I like them, so I keep using them and I keep buying them. You're definitely not going to want to probably keep it in this cheap little plastic thing. That's just to buy it in. I'm sure I'll just take them out and put them in my drawer with all the rest of my clip removal tools, but let's keep moving. Okay, up next, a little bit of a bonus tool. This is going to be a new scan tool from Autel. This is the MaxiSys MS906BT from Autel. And I know what you're thinking if you've ever watched any of my videos. Hey, that sounds a lot like your old one. Well, it is. So let's check it out. I already pulled this one out and got it fired up. So I'll show you what I got. Okay, there's our scan tool. Here's our VCI, Vehicle Communication Interface, and I keep it attached to a 6-foot long little extender like this. This one is made by Autel, not to be confused with Autel, but it's great because you see how big this little dongle is. That thing, on some vehicles, it's too big to get in there. So this thing, I have not found a vehicle where I can't get it in. So I really like this thing, and so I just keep it attached to it all the time. I just plug it in and lay it up on the dash or lay it on the seat, and it also prevents me from forgetting this. So not only do you get that, but the scan tool. I'll put the first fingerprint on there so you can check it out. But very happy with Autel scan tools. No issues with them, and so that's why I keep buying them. In addition to those, you get this humongous case, so you can go on long trips with your luggage and all your clothes if you want. No, but in all honesty, this is way too big for what you get. You do get some accessories, power plug and stuff like that in here. And you get some adapters for other cars that don't have the standard 16-pin data link connector. Typically what I do is I take all those and I put them in a box or a bag and I just hang on to them, and then I throw the big case out because I don't have enough room for these. This is my third or fourth Autel, so if I didn't get rid of these, it would take up half my shop just housing these things. So, but besides that, no issues with these. Now some of you may be wondering, hey, why'd you get a brand new MS906BT? Isn't that what you had before? Yes, I did. In fact, here's the old one right here. And if you look close, you can see just a lot of garbage on the top right there. Definitely harder to use the touch screen. I'm not gonna name any names, but somebody named Big Dog50001 forgot to cover this when he was shooting clear coat on the Accord project. So I can still use it, but that was a great excuse to go buy a new one. And this one came with 2 years worth of updates for the price of the unit. Whereas, I would always keep this one up to date, and for almost the same cost, of upgrading this for 2 years, I could buy the brand new one and get 2 years worth of updates for free and have a brand new unit. So that's the reason why, for almost the same exact price, I was able to upgrade the unit, and now I have a backup. If I drop that one or throw it across the garage floor when I get mad, I got another one that I can use and we'll be good to go and we'll still be in business. So let's see if we got anything else. Alright, last but not least, we got a new air compressor. This one's from Porter Cable. It's going to be a 6-gallon air compressor, and this is the combo kit. So we're going to get 3 different nailers and a hose. So pretty nice, and this thing is made in the USA, at least with Global Materials. Part number PCFP3KIT for kit. Let's look at the other side and we can see all the specs. Alright, let's look at our specs here. So this is the C2002 air compressor. Weighs 30 pounds, and I did already take it out of the box, and I actually fired it up. The thing works really nice. Long life, oil-free, maintenance-free pump, 150 PSI max, and 6 gallons like we said before. As far as the nailers, we got the FN250SB finish nailer, we got the BN200SB brad nailer, and the PIN138 pin nailer. So that's definitely nice. You get those almost free. When you look at the price of those compared to buying it with this kit, definitely makes it worthwhile, and you'll save a lot of money. Like I said before, it's 6 gallons, 150 psi. The SCFM at 90 is 2.6, so that's not bad at all. Our max running horsepower is 0.8. The noise rating is 78.5, and like I said, when I had it out running, it was not obnoxious in the least. It does come with a little air hose. It's a small one, but I was able to unpack it, plug it in, fired it up. It filled right up. It fills up pretty fast. Of course, it's not very big at 6 gallons. I plugged that in. I was drilling some concrete out back for some bolts, and I needed to blow those holes out. And I just hooked up a little air gun to this thing and was able to blow them out, because the big air compressor that I have, although it is portable, I pretty much have it set in place and I'm not moving it. So that's why I got this. And I also wanted to get some more finish nailers, because there's been some time where I've had to nail some trim on, and I just do it the old-fashioned way with a hammer. And I was like, you know what, I want a small little air compressor where I could do these things around and not have to worry about lugging the big thing around. So that's why I got this. We can open it up and take a peek. Okay, there's our air compressor out of the packaging. You can see that we have two quick couplers on there, and they were already attached. I didn't put them on there. We got our adjustment knob. We got our gauges right here, two of them. On-off switch and a little handle to carry it. At 30 pounds, it's definitely easy to lug around, that's for sure. Now it does come with this hose, but it's like a small little 1/4-inch hose. It's pretty small, but it did have quick couplers on there, so I mean, all I did was fire it up and plug it in, and I was in business, so that was pretty nice. Here's our nailers right here, and we can see that they're all made in Taiwan. I'll just pull one out. You can check out the quality. Obviously I have not used the nailers yet, but they seem like they're fairly well built, just initial inspection. And they also come with quick couplers on there too. So all in all, I think, you know, this little package deal where you get the 3 nailers and the small compressor, you can buy this small compressor just on its own, but for the additional price, especially if it's on sale, I think I got this on sale, it was a no-brainer to get these, because these can really add up when you start adding those together, especially when you buy them individually. Definitely nice to get them in a set like this and just pay one price and be done. So I've already used it, like I said, blowing out some holes in the backyard. Very happy with it so far, and I anticipate I'll be able to use it in the future. And it's definitely nice to be able to get something made in the USA, even if it was, you know, only parts were made in the USA and some of them had to be imported and assembled here. It's tough for something like this where you have a lot of moving parts to get every single part for this air compressor made in the USA and then assembled in the USA. So at this point, I'll take what I can get. Made in USA or assembled in USA is better than not. Now, I know I said it's like getting these air tools for free when you buy this. Not quite, but you can definitely save some money when you buy it all together. Also, I do believe that this same air compressor is available under the Craftsman name and also Dewalt name. I could be wrong, they may be different, but I'm pretty certain that it's the same exact air compressor. Also, all the tools you see in my video, all bought and paid for. I don't accept free tools in exchange for a video like that. That way I can tell you exactly how I feel about the tool, whether I like it or whether I don't like it. And hey, as always, if the video helped you out or you liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.